Why it sucks to be born as a sand tiger shark. Your sibling literally eats you before you're even born. Congratulations! You survived the ultimate sibling death match and made it into the ocean. But don't celebrate just yet. Your struggles are far from over. Now you have an entirely different problem. You look like something straight out of a horror movie, with rows of jagged, needle-like teeth that stick out even when your mouth is closed. Sand tiger sharks always have a permanent, menacing grin, and to make matters worse, you tend to swim really slowly with your mouth slightly open, giving off the unsettling vibe of a psychopathic villain who's always smiling. Basically, if sharks had a casting call for a horror film, you'd land the lead role without even trying. But here's the real kicker. Despite looking like a creature that would haunt people's nightmares, you're actually one of the chillest sharks in the ocean. Unlike great white sharks or tiger sharks, sand tiger sharks almost never attack humans. In fact, you're so laid back that divers swim right next to you all the time without a second thought. But do people appreciate this? Nope. Instead, they slap you with labels like killer shark and monster of the deep just because of your creepy face. Talk about an image problem. The ultimate battle before birth. Now let's rewind a little. The fact that you even made it this far is a miracle. Why? Because being a sand tiger shark means your life or death struggles start before you're even born. See, most animals have to fight for survival after they're born, but not you. Your first real battle happens inside your mother's womb. Sand tiger sharks practice something called intrauterine cannibalism, which is just a fancy way of saying that, congratulations, you survived the ultimate sibling death match and made it into the ocean. That alone is impressive. But now you've got a whole new problem, your appearance. And let's be honest, you look like something straight out of a horror movie. With rows of jagged, needle-like teeth that stick out even when your mouth is completely closed, you always have this permanent, menacing grin. And to make things worse, you tend to swim really slowly with your mouth slightly open, which gives you the unsettling vibe of some kind of smiling psychopath. If sharks had mugshots, yours would be downright terrifying. But here's the twist. You're actually one of the chillest sharks in the entire ocean. Unlike great white sharks or tiger sharks, sand tiger sharks almost never attack humans. In fact, you're so calm that divers swim right next to you all the time. No panic, no drama, just vibes. But do people appreciate this? Not at all. Instead, they take one look at your face and immediately slap you with labels like killer shark or ocean nightmare just because you look scary. Talk about an image problem. As a fully grown sand tiger shark, you finally get to embrace your role as a fearsome predator. You hunt at night, feeding on fish, rays, and even smaller sharks. Sounds pretty cool, right? You're the top of the food chain, the ultimate underwater hunter, or at least that's what you'd like to think. Because there's just one little problem, your hunting strategy is, well, kind of weird. Unlike most sharks, you don't chase down your prey with blinding speed. You don't use raw strength to overpower your meals. You don't even rely on crazy ambush tactics like some of your cousins. Nope, your approach is a bit different. Instead of all that, you've got a special trick, one that no other shark really uses. You swim up to the surface, take a huge gulp of air, and store it in your stomach. Yeah, you basically turn yourself into a floating shark balloon. This extra air lets you hover completely motionless in the water, almost like you're levitating. No swimming, no movement, just a creepy, silent, slow drift through the ocean. And while you're hanging there like a ghost, unsuspecting fish swim right into your strike zone, and that's when you attack. Now, don't get me wrong, it works. You get your food, you survive. But let's be real, this isn't exactly the most badass way to hunt. Most predators either charge at their prey at full speed, stalk them with incredible stealth, or use sheer power to dominate. But sand tiger sharks, they just kinda float, waiting, motionless. It's effective, sure, but it's also kinda weird. As if your brutal childhood wasn't bad enough, things don't get much easier when it's time to reproduce. Sand tiger sharks have one of the lowest reproductive rates of any shark species. A female can only give birth to 1 or 2 pups every 2 to 3 years, which for a top predator is insanely slow. And that's a huge problem because sand tiger sharks are heavily hunted for their fins, meat, and liver oil. Since they reproduce so slowly, their numbers just aren't recovering fast enough. Some populations are now critically endangered, and in certain areas their numbers have dropped so low that they may never fully bounce back. To make matters worse, they don't just suffer from direct hunting, they also get caught in fishing nets by accident. And even though they rarely attack humans, people still fear them just because of their creepy appearance. It doesn't matter that they're harmless. One look at those jagged teeth and people assume they're monsters. But here's the truth. The real threat isn't the shark, it's us. Overfishing, habitat destruction, and climate change are all pushing sand tiger sharks toward extinction. If we don't take conservation seriously, they could disappear forever. These sharks have survived for millions of years, outlasting dinosaurs and ice ages. But thanks to human activity, their time might finally be running out, and once they're gone, there's no bringing them back. So, let's recap. If you're born as a sand tiger shark, your very first challenge in life is not getting eaten by your own sibling. If you somehow survive that brutal battle, you finally make it into the ocean, only to realize you look like something straight out of a horror movie. Your jagged teeth stick out even when your mouth is closed, giving you a permanently menacing grin. People take one look at you and assume you're some kind of ruthless killing machine, even though you're actually one of the chillest sharks in the sea. And let's not forget your hunting technique. You don't chase down prey like a great white. Instead, you float eerily through the water like some spooky balloon, which honestly doesn't help your reputation. Then, to top it all off, humans are actively wiping out your species. Overfishing and habitat destruction are pushing sand tiger sharks toward extinction. Yeah, it's safe to say that being born as a sand tiger shark sucks. But despite all of this, sand tiger sharks are essential for keeping marine ecosystems balanced. Instead of fearing them, maybe we should actually appreciate these misunderstood predators before it's too late.